governor renews resolve to complete all ongoing projects by predecessor. Motorists queue behind black marketers of fuel amidst hike in price. And Nigerian Army commences shooting exercise in Ibawa, Abak. Hello and welcome. It's nice to have you join us on the news. My name is Evelyn Badu Ekbu. This broadcast is reaching live on StarTimes channel 103 and our social media platforms on YouTube and Facebook. You can log in to watch us or like our pages. Akwa Ibom State Governor Umoeno has reassured the people of his resolve to complete all ongoing projects in the state, kick-started by Udom Emmanuel's administration. The governor gave this assurance during an inspection tour at Eket Ultramodern Market. Calvin Samuel reports.
Conceived by the Udom Emmanuel's administration and flagged off on the 18th day of June 2018, Eket Ultramodern International Market, often refers to as Chinese Market, situated along Park Road, Eket, was among the projects affected by the emergence of COVID-19, which stalled progress of the project. Hence, this facility tour by Governor Umoeno to a certain level of job done with the promise of reactivation and speedy completion.
You can see the extent of work here. If we leave it, it will begin to decay. So we must put it to use before we can clear the people on the street doing street trading. We must give them a better alternative.
The market on completion will accommodate a total of 2,008 shops, out of which 30% is to be exclusively reserved for indigenes of Akwa Ibom State who are into business. From Eket local government area of Akwa Ibom State, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Governor Basio too has rededicated Cross River State to God and sued for peace and unity of purpose and respect for constituted authorities to fast-track needed socio-economic progress and prosperity of the state and Nigeria. This was the standpoint of the governor at the maiden solemn assembly and fasting program of his administration. Justina Etham reports that the governor at the session advises political appointees to deliver on their mandate, as he will not hesitate to sack any appointee found wanting.
Was a spiritual gathering of a cross-section of cross-riverians, friends of the states, political appointees, and the political class amidst praise, worship, prayers that rekindled the hope of the people that progress is in the making. As the congregation invoked God's blessings, healings, and restoration of Cross River State and Nigeria. The state's governor, Senator Basio too, who took one of the Bible readings, gave assurances and words of encouragement to the people with a promise to include the solemn assembly in the state's government's program calendar.
I alone, all the people who put together in office, will not be able to do this job without all of them coming together. I always say that Cross River State is a land of abundance. And it is time for us to begin to experience it. Don't pull down your brother, don't pull down your sister. Because if you do, then you might not attain that particular pedestal which you might change of worship.
Harping on the theme of the solemn assembly, "O God, heal the land," the initiator and wife of the governor, Reverend Eyongwan Otu, explains the reasons behind the program.
Now, stories of war, calamity everywhere, armed robbery, rape, insurgency, ritual killing, pulling one down, and hatred in our midst. It shouldn't be so. That's why we are here to call on our God to heal our land and hear our cry.
In a message drawn from 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14, Bishop Emaisong of Christian Central Chapel advised Nigerians to shun bigotry and ethnic sentiments.
Nigeria has more than 400 tribes and languages. If you begin to deal with people based on their nomenclatures of tribe and culture, then the unity we are preaching will be a mirage.
Most symbolic were prayers for the governor and his wife, as well as other leaders, encouraging them to shoulder the enormous task before them. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
The 6th Battalion Nigerian Army is carrying out a live firing exercise beginning from Monday, July 10 to Saturday, July 15, 2023. The firing exercise, which involves live ammunition, is taking place at 6th Battalion Firing Range, Wellington Basi Barracks, Ibawa Abak, from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening. A statement signed by Lieutenant U.A. Enyazu for the commanding officer advised inhabitants of Ikoropon, Okon, Ikorafaga, Mbarakon, Itum, and Ikoranan to stay indoors to avoid unwanted incidences. It also advises the public not to panic, as it is a routine military exercise. And the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Akwa Ibom State Command, has impounded 7 trucks loaded with suspected illegally acquired crude oil with 15 suspects. Calvin Samuel reports.
Briefing newsman, the state commandant of NSCDC Akwa Ibom State Command, Eluwade Eluyemi, says the arrest took place on Friday, 7th July by the team of anti-vandal squad along Calabar Itu Highway.
7 trucks conveying petroleum products with irregular papers. Preliminary investigation has revealed suspected criminal conspiracy and illegal dealing in petroleum products.
He warned criminals and economic saboteurs operating within the command to desist or be ready to face the law, saying that he has the full backing of the Commandant General to rid the state of vandals and other criminal elements.
With the backing of my Commandant General and the backing of Akwa Ibom State people, we are ready to tackle any form of insecurity, vandals, that you should stay clear of Akwa Ibom State. If not, we will make sure that they are all arrested on daily basis and brought to book.
Exhibits and suspects are still in the custody of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, pending further investigation and possible prosecution. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Hawking of premium motor spirits, also known as fuel, is one business that is gradually becoming popular among residents of Uyo. This activity, that is often common during fuel scarcity, is gaining more patronage despite the availability of the product in petrol stations. Inameno Yellow, in this report, finds out why some motorists prefer buying fuel from black marketers to petrol stations.
Every business customer wants value for their money, and when this is not forthcoming, attention is shifted to another place. Sales of petroleum products, particularly fuel, is authorized at approved petrol stations due to its highly inflammable nature, but many residents seem to have thrown caution into the wind. Hawking of fuel, that is usually seen during fuel scarcity, is now a daily business in Uyo metropolis, and like any business, sustainability depends on patronage. Lack of trust in the meters of fuel stations and the need to have value for money in an era of high cost of fuel price are among reasons some motorists are patronizing the black marketers.
We want to make it to buy black market, the fuel, the way they sell for 1 liter, they sell 1 liter of fuel, 600. Some people they sell 650. Some people they sell 700 for black market because of filling the channel. They wind the meter. The meter, you know, reach 1 liter. You buy 1 liter of fuel, put on here before you know carry like 2 people. The fuel don't finish.
We like to buy fuel for black market. Is that okay? This black market is good, better than filling station because of the meter.
True, this thing don't tire also. Because this morning, say I buy fuel of 1,500 and even carry me up to 1 hour time. The thing finish. That's why I used to buy this black market, and that one even the better small for us.
While calling for caution in view of the inflammable nature of fuel, the respondents urged relevant authorities to checkmate activities of fuel stations in order to restore the confidence of the public.
Those people selling fuel as black marketers, they endanger the lives of the people living around them, because I know maybe where they store that fuel is not the proper place for fuel to be stored. So as a result of that, in case of any fire outbreak, there will be a serious disaster in the environment or the area. So from my own point of view, to store fuel closer to, in short, in a residential area is not good because of the dangers involved. Run a business as a black marketer is not the right thing to do. Let it be that it is only at fuel station that fuel is sold to the public.
NTN News attempt to speak with some of the black marketers was not successful, as they declined speaking, claiming their bosses were not around. In Uyo, Inemeno Yellow, NTN News.
Manholes are provided on major roads to add aesthetics and prevent debris from going into the gutters. But recent activities of vandals in Uyo are putting road users in danger, particularly as flood water takes over some roads. Nsika Okun reports.
Manholes are small covered areas positioned on paved walkways or roads used to gain access to underground public utilities. In some major streets in Uyo metropolis, governments over the years have provided these facilities to ensure that rainwater will have a free flow, just as it adds to the city's aesthetic. It is useful for the sustainability of durable roads. Investigations reveal that these essential facilities have been disappearing from major streets in Uyo, posing grave danger to motorists and other road users, especially at night. A case in point is the manhole situated by the side of number 219 and 260 Oron Road, where many respondents describe as a death trap.
It's of a very high risk, most especially in the night when the weather is not bright enough and some drivers are on a high speed and they might not notice that there is a kind of like a pothole there, in as a result of people like doing away with the irons.
Too bad. I just saw one day we just come in the morning. I just saw this thing, they remove it. The other one too. So many people, many accidents is happening here.
Residents of these areas say condemned tires have been used as remedial measures to indicate a danger sign for those using the road for the first time, but realize that some miscreants still go away with the tires.
We are not happy over it. We wake up one morning in May, early in May, they first remove that gutter cover, and after some days they now remove the manhole. It's quite dangerous. We are taken aback over it. So we feel that everybody should be involved, because this thing was not removed in the daytime, it was in the night that they removed it, you know. So, and some other people are complaining all over the city.
Somebody wanted to die inside here. So I don't know, government should help us, because at least they will put somebody that will be guiding it, because if in the night all of us will go home.
The situation is the same at Oron Road, Uran traffic lights axis.
This can damage people's car, and a stranger coming into this area at night, it's very dangerous, and it's very closer to where they have the traffic lights, so it's not a good one.
And the way I feel about this thing, the thing is not good, because the thing can cause accidents. Because I've seen many people that have problem here, so I think that this thing is good for government to come and repair the place.
But the question on the lips of residents is, if government is not aware of these developments.
To undertake it, did it at late night in there. So I think if the security agents should have been up and doing, they could have fished them out.
It is the thought of residents that the state government will look into the situation to avoid casualties or death. In Uyo, Nsika Okun, NTN News.
Up next is sports updates with Suleiman Musa.
We begin with volleyball. Nigeria beat Ghana 3-0 with a 25-10, 25-15, 25-10 to lift the women's trophy at the 2023 Africa Under-21 Nations Volleyball Championships on 3 in Niamey, Niger Republic on Sunday. Team Nigeria went through the entire tournament without dropping a single set to be crowned champions while beating Ghana twice in the mix. Head coach of Nigeria Under-21 women's team, Rekia Mohammed, expressed her happiness over the victory.
This is the first time Nigeria is picking a trophy in the underage championship. So I feel so happy. The Ghanaians came all out to play the Nigerian team. But the girls showed them that Kakino be leader.
And now to Scrabble. Enoch Nwali has a match winner of the 3rd edition of the Governor Doe Indiri National Scrabble Championship. Timinepri Ohia reports that Nwali defeated the defending champion, Nisikat Etim, with a plus 705 cumulative spread points after winning 12 out of 15 games played.
I feel very hopeful that we are going to do well and bring back the trophy.
This is the last tournament they will be playing before they go out to the world.
And to basketball, Nigeria men's basketball team the Tigers beat Mali in their opening Group B game at the 2nd edition of the 2023 FIBA Abrocan holding in Angola. In Sunday's encounter, the Tigers emerged victorious with a 62-56 point win over the Malians. In the next few hours, the Tigers will battle host Angola in the 3-team group. And finally to tennis, 16-year-old Russian Mira Andreeva Wimbledon run ended in controversy after she was docked a point for throwing her racket. The qualifier, who had already been won for hurling her racket after losing the second set, received a point penalty that gave Madison Keys match point in their 4th round encounter. Andreeva went on to lose 3-6, 7-6, 6-2. With Sport Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
Christians have been admonished to seek the face of God and repent from all acts of wickedness, as everyone will receive rewards according to their works on earth. Evangelist Chukwuemeka Ogbonna of Christ Light for All Ministry, Abia State, gave the charge at the funeral service of late Chidi Sunday Ubani at Umo Okeze, Okweoku Oboro, Ikwano Local Government Area, Abia State. Sharon Duncan reports.
The funeral service of late Chidi Sunday Ubani, which was conducted by the Christ Light for All Ministry at the deceased family's compound, Umuekeze Okweuku, Ikwano Local Government Area, Abia State, attracted many dignitaries and friends of the deceased. The officiating minister, Evangelist Chukwuemeka Ogbonna, urged all to deviate from evil, bearing in mind God's promises to reward all activities on earth.
Repent and come and give their life to Jesus. This is a very good opportunity for you to surrender unto Christ.
The biography of the deceased, read by his son, indicates that he was a devout Christian, a choir master at the Apostolic Church, and kind-hearted man, born into the family of late Deacon William Nwankwo and Regina Ubani. After obtaining a Standard 6 certificate, he was trained as a technician and worked in some reputable companies in Lagos, including Geta Plastic Production Company, where he worked till his demise.
On the 12th day of June 2023, he was knocked down by a forklift in the company where he worked and could not survive the injury sustained. He surrendered to the cold hands of death same day in the hospital. His death still remains a shock to his family.
Popularly called Day or Kuma by siblings, the 63-year-old Chidi Sunday Ubani is survived by his wife, Bridget, a son, Ebuka Ubani, and other relatives including his sister, Joy Ubani, a news staff of NTA Uyo. Condolence messages and tributes were presented by some groups, including National Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, led by Nsika Okun.
News of your late brother came to us with shock, and being conscious of how painful the loss of a loved one is, we urge you to take solace in the fact that you shall meet him again on the resurrection morning.
The deceased sister, Joy Ubani, described her late brother as a good man who was reserved with good morals.
He's not a trouble type, he's a very quiet type. And we're going to miss him. It's a day that we can never forget in a hurry. But I pray that God, lead him home.
He has never one day
keep malice with me to the following day. If make disgrace me, I don't know that this man will leave me by this time.
They've come here all the way from Uyo to come and mourn with our sister, one of our colleagues. The management and the entire staff of NTO Uyo is mourning with her.
To take heart. Unfortunately, he left behind a son, so they have a legacy to protect. It's for them to channel their resources and love on that child and ensure that the child grows up to be somebody that they'll be proud of.
Ubani is a colleague, at the same time a good man. We worked harmoniously, and he's a quiet man, shy as they said. I noticed in him is easygoing man.
His body was later interred in his family's compound, Umwekeze Okweuku, in Ikwano local government area of Abia State, after graveside rites. From Ikwano, Abia State, Sharon Duncan, NTA News.
And to end the news, a recap of the major highlights. Governor Umoino has renewed resolve to complete all ongoing projects by his predecessor. Motorists have queued behind black marketers of fuel amidst hike in price. You also heard in the news that Nigerian Army has commenced shooting exercise in Ibawa, Abak. And that's the news. To be a star, join NTA's campaign to stand against rape and rapists. Many thanks for watching. MM Nyeme standing by for the news translation. Do have a beautiful morning. Kamukara State nyen etu moino anwo adikwenge mutom se kana Kamukara State akena maso me waru song eneke ma ari de berano wat nto me amara no wat kembe no song mbone kong etongo aruna mutobikan Akwa Ibom me sere aminkere ememunyime mbo yari non kpangton ke member senior mfenemi Urme kong itioke ake Nigerian Army etangebo ke yenie aruna mutobikan troke monde usene fiong duob tutoke some Saturday usene fiong efat ke fiong July ami ki soit 2023 aruna mutobikan ami ari dari tie ke awai kong Wellington Basi ke Ibawa ke nkokara Abak troke nkanika itioke ubarasin tutoke some nkanika itioke ndubieyo Kengwe Lieutenant UA Anyazu Akesan Nobor Anyebo Yarmono Wosidro Ke Ikorokbong Okon Ikorofara Mbarakom Itun Nkoro Ikoronang Edon Okesru Foromo Mbak Mempontape Anyedi Andobo Yarmono Wo Eki Niendek Ke Arinamu Tebikangami Ado Ndutom Ekong Esirenie Me ndudu esere nam ke mekpo song aseria no yae ke musongoro ai ngotre mbio aridongo me ube mmong ndien idagami mondu dio ke nko karu yo ekopo me arudo mi enemi wang ndien ami akemi ben mfuna asok munowo sisanga ke musongoro manakpan idagami among dio renam ayoko kusong Yarikop oyorom bromi ito insikarokun.
Kedikin boke musongo ukara esaya ama na song idemekbene mukara emse tepenton dudu adogo mkpokpe biara membio akake afiok musongo mi anyedo sewo kana doko sep ake doko songo membio mi kedi ikebenyenta mbono wo edok mendudu mi Eka eke kumo mempo kamake efok menduduomi. Ida menduduomi adi na iwang. Ketange banga me itie ampo mi etepeke akpado itie di yonga kente number 119 ye 260 Oron Road ayak na mendu do mi anaiwang akpesokodo do me government e mai ben ko fokke mitie mi mboni no mai ke ku mom podo mboni do ngoke me fara mi e tangete ke mi mo ki de mi da busen ke yonga di kna ku mom mem podo sio mi mo di ben mem bianga taya isin baga wodi do ndokdo ado mboni no mi so di sesio mbianga taya do ke sanga ke do usonga Ron Road itie traffic light adara itie do akopo anwa kpun abiara etieti anye do sido akemi benu no mo no mbono wo esanga ke usonga mi mbono wo ku yo ma sinu ye koro kare bo ya mo ke do bo yo akpana kpani ni ko idme mi ke nanga itie do kopo anado ke mong di yonga de ma di fok ke wo ke mesanga di kibo yo adong dudo do mong di yonga de ben anye